اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق.
Welcome to our 30-part Ramadan series on wisdom to feed the soul. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin salatan tufrihuhu wa tus'iduhu turdihi wajzihi biha anna ma huwa ahluhu ya arhamar rahimin wa alihi wa sallim. My dear friends, Allah bless you all. We continue in these blessed days and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to nourish us from some of the wisdom of these masters who of slavehood that we've seen in the Ummah and their words. So today we shall look at the words of Imam Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i, the great Mujtahid Mutlaq and the great scholar of Islam, radiyallahu anhu wa ardah. And he said, وَدِدْتُ أَنِّي إِذَا نَظَرْتُ أَحَدًا أَنْ يُظْهِرَ اللَّهُ الْحَقَّ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ. He said, I wished that when I debated someone, that Allah make the truth manifest at His hands. Now this is a really deep piece of wisdom. So firstly, when people debate, arguing is something frowned upon in our religion. Anyway, وما ضل قوم بعد هدى كانوا عليه إلا أوتوا الجدل. The words of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no people after having been guided, no people went astray after having been guided, except that they were given argumentation, arguing about things that don't benefit and things, arguing over things in ways that cause people to veer away from the way of Allah. We talked in the past about hawa, and one of the ways of following your hawa is just wanting to be right all of the time. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us one of the signs of arrogance, batarul haqq, refusing the truth. And this happens a lot of the times when you're, in this situation. If there's people having a debate or an argument, the truth might come out and people say, no, they won't accept it, no. And they'll twist it and they'll use, whatever techniques they have to get out of having to admit the truth and recognize the truth. And there's a problem here. So Imam al-Shafi'i radiallahu anhu is teaching us sincerity with Allah, that if you're really debating for the sake of Allah, and he was a mujtahid, and there were situations, he was a fully qualified scholar. There are others who are not qualified, and then they get into these constant debates. So he said, I wished that Allah made the truth known at the other person's hands. He doesn't even want to be the center of attention. He doesn't even want to be someone who's proven right. And most people, as soon as we say something and someone challenges that, there's an argument straight away, or there's a debate, online, offline, wherever, and no, I have to be right. And then the books come out and start looking at all the references, no, I have to be right. And he doesn't even want to be right, because he wanted the other person to say the truth so he could say, yeah, I accept it, you're right, I'm wrong. He doesn't need to be the one who's proven right. And that's a deep level of sincerity with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I have to say honestly. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that level of sincerity, that it's not the whole venture of religion and being religious. It's not about the religious identity or the religious topics, but it's about religion, being the way Allah wants us to be. And this is a huge gift for whoever has this. And unfortunately, even someone who's constantly exposed to these controversial topics, it becomes the default form of their religious manifestation. They think it's really religious to debate this sect or that sect. It's religious to argue about this point or that point. Whereas it's religious in reality to learn something of the guidance and apply it, and to remember Allah, and to transform into someone who embodies the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah. That's being religious. Not having a debate with someone, a pointless debate that won't matter 6 weeks from now, let alone in the akhirah. Right? So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to let us be like Imam Shafi'i was, even though he had all the knowledge required to win these debates. but he was still sincere with Allah, and he put Allah first, and it wasn't about this ego trip of having to be shown right every time there was a disagreement. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the tawfiq to do that, and may Allah benefit us through his blessed words in this life and the next. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.